Hello everybody, welcome back to Dear Sports. I am so excited for today's episode. Today we have Zach Loveday in the studio. Zach has appeared in 38 games over 3 seasons with the Bears. He's helped the Bears win back-to-back Big 12 championships along with a 2021 national championship. He appeared in 13 games during the Baylor's 2021 national championship season. And Zach, thanks for coming in today.
I appreciate you having me on today. Glad to be here.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I feel like we've known each other for a while, corporate comm majors.
It's in the comm department, you tend to see a lot of familiar faces, so that's really nice, actually.
No, yeah, it is. And sharing facilities, that's been really fun to.
Yep.
The Farrell, I mean, it's not going to be basketball anymore,
right? Not much longer, no. My understanding is they're going to have the new arena set up and done, hopefully by this winter, is what I've heard. So, yeah. Okay. I've heard a couple different opinions on it, but the goal, I guess, is supposed to be conference of 23, 24.
Okay.
So
that's exciting. It's going to be sick.
It's going to be really exciting. Yeah, I'm kind of sad I'm not going to be here to see it, but at the same time, I'm to see how much it's progressed in the last 2 years is crazy.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, winning a championship definitely
helps that.
Yeah. But that's awesome. Okay. So how is off season going? So you are still practicing, correct?
Yes, in the sense that it's like workouts right now.
Okay.
So it's, we lift 4 days a week. We work out 3 to 4 days a week as well. But it's a lot more laid back. Obviously right now guys are out doing their pre-drafts and stuff like that. Guys are transferring. Yeah. And it's a lot of in and out right now, but the guys that are here, it's very much a laid back, but it's still a lot of hard work. Everybody's kind of getting their bodies and their minds right, getting ready for summer and things like that.
Are y'all typically here all summer? Is that how it works, or do y'all have a month off? Or
so every school is different, and I've learned this being in the portal and stuff. But so for here at Baylor, usually after semester ends in May, we all go home about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. We come back at the start of summer term in June. Okay, June. We're here June. We get about a week off in July around the 4th, so guys can go home and stuff. Some of us do, some of us don't. But you'll have June, July. You'll practice up until the end of summer 2, which is generally August 8th through 10th, somewhere in there. And then you'll go home for another 2 weeks, and then you'll come back when school starts. Okay,
nice. That's kind of how volleyball works for us, too. You kind of get May off, and then you're back here June 1. Mm-hmm. And then, we start in August. But yeah, I kind of forget basketball is honestly year-round.
It is. It's very different because, so one of my friends from up home is committed to Marshall to play football. Okay. And, they get around usually about the whole month of Christmas. So they actually get their winter break. Yeah. Which couldn't be me, but couldn't be us. But it's really good that we have to be stuck into it year round because it's such a demanding sport, mentally, physically, everything, and if you're not locked into it year round, you can slip and fall back a little bit, fall behind the pack in that sense,
Yeah, no, definitely. I was talking to, I think, Dave, y'all's athletic trainer, and I'm like, basketball's kind of nice. y'all kind of get a summer maybe, He's like, all those holidays that you get? Yeah, we don't get those. I was I didn't even, spring break, wow.
So that's something that's, really fortunate for us and that's one thing I love about Coach Drew is he always makes sure to schedule games at least 3 days before Christmas and 2 days after. So we all get a Christmas break to go home and spend time with our families. And obviously for some of the guys, the international guys, it's a little bit harder. Yeah. But they have, John has his girlfriend, Flo I think he has either family or friends in Dallas, I believe. Okay. And Josh, I think, went home with D'Antoine this year, back to Florida and spent Christmas with them. So our guys, everybody has somewhere to go around Christmas time, which is one of the best things about it. But other than that, no, we really don't get we don't get those holidays and things like that.
That's tough. And you're from Ohio, correct? Mm-hmm. So what high school did you go to? You played on because I know basketball's a little different, so it's club travel-ish in high school?
Yeah. Okay. So I went, my first 2.5 years of high school, I went to my local high school, Gay Academy. And then halfway through my junior year, I got very, very, very upset. I think it was, looking back now, it was an emotionally driven decision, unfortunately. But I transferred to Huntington Prep, which is in Huntington, West Virginia. Okay. It's an elite national program. And I played there for a year and a half. And in that time, it was very good for me.
Okay.
Like I learned a lot about basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But travel basketball was another one that helped me. So I played my first year, I played with a team from Columbus. My second year, so my 16U season, was with a team from Louisville. And then my third season, my 17U year, was a team from Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
So I I was in this
Hopped around.
rotating. Yeah. So it was really weird playing with a different team every year.
Yeah.
But I met so many different guys and stuff like that. Like it was really, really cool. You know, I mean, I definitely developed a lot of different relationships with coaches, players. I saw a lot of different college coaches and things like that. And it was really, really cool. I mean, it was a great experience having that.
Yeah, that is so cool. I was talking with Presley. She was on a couple weeks ago, and we were just talking about how it's like really cool to play club volleyball or softball, and then to like have all these connections of because you're on a team that's really good, and so everyone ends up going D1, and so you have friends and then coaches, and I'm sure that's like super helpful now being in the portal of like having those connections and
Yep,
feeling
100%. It really is, and to see, especially now, you know, people look at the portal and how much it changes with players, but they don't really recognize how much it changes with coaching too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the coaching staff changes now are so every year it's consistently like 5 to 10 high major programs are looking to go get coaches, you know, and it's just as active at that level. So like guys that recruited me in high school, you know, who may have been assistants are all head coaches now at different schools. And it's really something interesting to see.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I forget about that too. And like coaches also like to hop around. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So you are graduating from Baylor, correct? So that's awesome. Like you're gonna have a degree, be done, communications, correct? And then you'll be done in August?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the goal is I've got some summer classes I got to knock out and stuff. But once I'm done with that, I'll be done.
Yeah. How does that feel? I mean, that's a big accomplishment.
It's definitely like a relief. Like
Yeah.
having to do, you know, what is it, anywhere from 12 to 16 hours every semester. I think last semester I actually ended up in like 17.
Oh my gosh.
And it was crazy.
During season, that's a lot.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm just so glad to be done with it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, most grad schools full-time are 6 to 8 hours or 6 to 9 hours. And it's just, that's a lot easier. And a lot of them offer online classes too.
Oh, that's
so that would
awesome.
be even, makes it a lot easier in that sense.
That's awesome. Do you know what kind of master's program you're wanting to go into, or it just depends on the school, or?
It depends on the school. Okay. I haven't really thought. I mean, I've thought about it a little bit, but I haven't nailed one down yet.
Yeah.
But it's very school dependent.
Okay. Awesome. And then how did you get into basketball? I mean, obviously, like genetically, you've been super blessed. So I'm sure it's kind of like a given to throw you in basketball, but how did you start?
I was 4, I think, when I started.
Okay.
You know, my parents are both, my mom played basketball in high school, and my dad played NAIA basketball.
Oh, awesome.
All 4, or I think he actually played 3 years. So basketball runs in the family, and in that sense. So they were just like, you know, you should play sports. So because I played baseball as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
I did dual sports pretty much all the way up until the end of middle school when
What
I really
position
just
were you?
everything. I mean, pitcher, catcher, left field, first base.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I did like everything, whatever was needed, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, because at that age, it doesn't really matter. You can
For sure.
just got to be able to do everything.
You're athletic. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so there was that, but you know, they really saw like how sports helps, you know, people grow. And I'm really blessed that my parents, I'm not going to say forced because that's a strong word, but they really kind of nudged me that direction to really take part in it. And I'm so blessed that they have, because they've been in my corner the entire time.
That's awesome.
And it's really helped a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure being far from home has not been easy, having like a good relationship with your parents.
Yeah. It's been a little bit harder. Obviously, it's not easy to just get down to Texas from Ohio. You know, it's not a hop and a skip. But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it's not like if something happens. I mean, it's a flight. It's one flight and they're here. You know, so it's not that bad. But I wouldn't say I've been so much as homesick as some other guy. Like I've seen some guys be seriously homesick. And not just here. I mean, other places as well. Like there are guys that are really homesick, and I'm just like, you know,
you got it.
Yeah, like you can figure it out. You know, like you've got this is a family here, you know? And like, that's why it's so important, us being so tight knit as we are, is that it helps eliminate that. Yeah. You know, that sense of like, you're so far from home, you're not near your like original friends and stuff. And for me, that's what's been so nice is my roommates, my teammates, the staff, you know, my friends at the school and things like that has helped so much.
That's awesome. It truly is like wherever you are, it becomes your family. And it kind of has to become your family because you don't have time, like you said, to go and travel. I mean, even being from Texas, I'm 2.5 hours from home. I probably go home maybe like once or twice a year. My parents will come see me during season just for games and everything. But I'm like, I don't want to go home. You know, like I'd so much rather be up here and be with my new family. And it's a cool time in your life.
Yeah, it really is. And that's why I think it's so important for, you know, for people who play at the collegiate level to find somewhere, like if you have to go away from home further than you'd like, find somewhere that really just fits your personality. You know, you want to be around those people all the time. Because if you go somewhere where you don't want to be around those people or you just get fed up with it real quick, it's not a good situation.
Yeah, definitely.
So
you're on a national championship team. That's insane. Like, what a cool, pretty cool. It's just to call yourself a national champion.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people like laud about it a lot. I think of it just as kind of, it's another stop in the journey, you know, like I try not to like wear that on my sleeve, if that makes sense. Like I try not to brag about it. I don't, you know, like I don't think that there's not a lot to gain from that. In the sense that like, oh, I won a national championship 3 years later, you know, 4, 20, 15, whatever, you know. I think it's really cool. I was extremely blessed to be a part of that team, and I'm very happy that I was. But, you know, it's just another step in the journey, you know. You have to keep walking forward. And, you know, I think I've done that. I think I've continued to grow as a person and as a player from it. Obviously, everything that it taught me has been great, but, you know, like I said, you can't dwell on that too long. You know, it's a moment in time. Cherish it, love it, keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's great. I remember right after it happened, Jared Butler came to FCA and spoke, and he was like, "It's like have your life. Like you've been training for this moment forever. The confetti's falling," and he was like, "This is it. Like this is really all it is." And I was like, "Wow." You know, like you've hit that and you just haven't.
Yeah, to be fair, COVID did throw a lot of that off. You know, you're playing in Lucas Oil Stadium. It's 115,000 person stadium, you know, and there's like 17, not even, you know, walking at all the cardboard cutouts and everything. And it's just like my bones should be shaking from how loud it is right now. And instead it's like, it just feels empty.
Because you're in the bubble.
Yeah. And that was a really weird time of my life.
Did you like it? I heard a lot of players enjoyed it, but some didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as bad. The only complaint I had was some of the classes I was in at the time I took a lot of in-persons that semester, and it was very frustrating because it was like, I'm gone for, a month. I think we were gone. I think the final total was like 28 or 30 days that we were gone because we went Big 12 tournament, which was a week.
Okay.
You went straight to the bubble, which was a week, and then you had two weeks of games, and then the national championship stuff. So, I mean, it was almost 4.5 weeks we were gone. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's such an adjustment and was it during finals? Kind of?
No,
okay.
not yet.
Not at
but
that
as soon as we got back, you had to start prepping for finals though, because finals are 2 weeks out, you know.
My gosh.
It was brutal. I mean, it was like I wouldn't trade that experience for the world, right? But it was definitely that like, as an experience, like being in the bubble and stuff, that's something I would talk about for the rest of my life. It's like telling people, like, you don't understand. Like, you saw us play on TV. You might have seen, like, videos or highlights of the bubble and stuff, but, like, living in it and seeing the highlights, because that's exactly what it is. It's highlights. You're not seeing the lows and everything and stuff like that. I mean, especially towards the end of the tournament when people start getting beat out and they just kind of start leaving. You know, I will never forget that last weekend when it was us, Houston, Gonzaga, and UCLA. And it was 4 teams for that last week. And it was just like, you know, this is a hotel with like, I think it was 16 or 17 floor hotel and, you know, all these conference rooms and everything. And there's, you know, maybe 100 people.
Wow.
Maybe. And it's just like, it was such a weird feeling. I mean, to just walk. It felt like you were in an abandoned hotel. I mean, it was so weird, you know?
That's insane. Yeah, I didn't even like register of because people are leaving.
Yeah.
And so just like kind of like a game show of like Survivor. Like you're the only ones left. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then obviously the night after our Final Four game, you know, Houston and UCLA left, and it was just us and Gonzaga. It was that I think it was a Sunday night, I think, and it was just like, you know, I kind of like walked down. I went to go work out with one of our grad assistants, and we walked down to the practice gyms, and it's just like it's a half-mile walk down to the convention center, and it's just like just empty,
kind of creepy
everywhere. Yeah, like it was really weird. I mean, because you know, they got rid of a lot of the hotels, like really narrowed down their staff to like the essentials, you know, so that way to keep everything to a minimum or whatever at the time. And it was so weird. It's something you'll probably never see again.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's crazy. So from that season to now, this season, talk about like the emotions. Obviously, new people in, same coaching staff. Obviously, Jerome Tang went to K-State, which like that's such a cool thing to watch him just take off this season. Talk about some of the emotions of this past season.
So there were highs and lows. Yeah. Obviously, through the last 2 years. Last season, obviously, with everything injury-wise and whatnot, like that was very much a low. But, I mean, you look at the other side of that, you know, being ranked number one at some point last season, how we were playing, how we fought adversity and things like that, and this year as well. You know, I mean, we had a really rough stretch there after game 10, I think. We lost 4 or 5 or something like that. And then, you know, we turn around and win 10 of our next 11.
Wow.
You know, it just swings. You know, the pendulum just keeps swinging, and it's back and forth. But, you know, for the most part, I think it's just a lot of positive emotions. I think we fighting adversity, you know, and that's one of my favorite things is in our grad assistant's office is they've got a picture, and it says everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a Mike Tyson quote, and it's just like, it's real. You know, it really is real. Like everybody thinks they know what they're doing until life hits them. And then it's at that moment you have to kind of, whatever plan you had is gone. You just got to go.
Plan C, D, E, like everything. The next one.
Everything's gone and you just got to go, you know? And I think this season we had that.
Okay.
And I think we got punched in the mouth a couple of times, but we fought back. We rebounded. We came, you know, whatever plan we thought we had, we ditched it and we just went, we fought, you know? Yeah. And at the end of the season, we came up short, but you know what? This team has nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
You know, this is a great team. I think this is I'm really grateful to have been a part of it, you know.
That's awesome. You want to leave season feeling that way, you know, like you to go through season and to even say you have like a losing season and it's going terrible, like you want to feel like you emptied your tank. You know, you don't want to feel like you are holding something back or reserving something. So it's very mature of y'all's team to be able to do that. Very mature of y'all's staff to continue to motivate you from going from such high to lows. Talk about your relationship with staff. How was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
It's always been really good for me. They've always been great to me. You know, I try my hardest. Whatever they ask, I do. You know, like I try to be the best player that I can be and the best person, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we'll go spend time with the coaches and stuff away from the court and the gym and stuff. And I've done that, you know, just by myself sometimes, you know. And I think that's really important, you know, because those are guys, you know, when I'm done playing, hopefully 10, 15 years from now, it's like maybe I want to do coaching or whatever. Yeah. And it's like those guys can get me
for sure
wherever I want to go as far as that realm goes, you know. So I think maintaining those relationships is it's the most important thing. That's
awesome. You want to be able to have those relationships. Like I just left a meeting with my coach and I was like, hey, I got to go over this time. But of course we went over 10, 15 minutes just because we love being able to spend time together and talk and like develop those relationships. And you said it perfectly. You're going to want those relationships later in life, you know, get a job.
20, 30 years from now, you know, you never know when you might need someone to make a phone call for you.
Yeah.
You know, like a reference or whatever. And those guys, the staff here, are so highly credible because of what they've done, you know, not just here, but before as well.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's pretty cool to have Scott Drew in your corner. Like, that's pretty cool.
It is for sure. It is for sure. He's such a high energy guy.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you are in the portal. How has that been going? Was that a decision you felt at peace about? Were you confused? Are you still kind of in the mix of it? Like how is that going for you?
I wouldn't say so much confused. I think I knew what I wanted to do after the season was over. I knew that I actually didn't know that I was going to be able to graduate until I think sometime in the middle of January or February.
Yeah.
And I met with our academic advisor. He said, dude, you can graduate by August. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. So that kind of became a no-brainer. It was like, I have to graduate.
Gotta do it, yeah.
And so in doing so, I talked it over with my family, prayed about it, things like that, talked to a lot of people in my corner. And it was like, I want to get a little bit closer to home so my parents can come watch me and stuff. Because the reality is when you do pro sports, there's not a lot of time for that. Yeah. Like right now, it's 11 months out of the year. Pro sports is 12 months out of the year. Yeah. And if I decide to stay here or if I decide to go overseas, especially overseas, it's going to be, I don't know that they're ever going to come see me out there. They might once a year or something like that. But I told the coaches, I said, look, I love you. I have given you everything the last 3 years, and you guys have given me everything, and it's family, and they understood that, and they agreed. I mean, they said, a change of scenery probably wouldn't help, but I told them, I want to get closer to home so my parents can come see me and stuff like that. I wanted to graduate, and I wanted to do my master's, next year, start my master's degree. And I think everything kind of just meshed well together. Good. And it was just a really, really good decision, I think.
Good. Those are hard conversations to have, especially at a program that everything's going so well. Like it's going well, your team's succeeding, you're succeeding in life. Like there's truly not like this happens, like now I have to leave. It's more of a like, okay, this feels right and for my next steps. And I mean, we've been talking about it this whole episode, but just like being with your family, like that's a big deal. I love being able to look up in the crowd and seeing my parents and grandparents, and aunts and uncles. Like I love that. And so I think that's such a wise decision of like, you want to have that experience.
Yeah. And it's really, it really is important because the last 3 years, they've come, I think probably to like 7 or 8 games. And obviously freshman year, they were there for the whole tournament because it was in Indianapolis, which is closer to home. But other than that, they have not been to as many games as I would like, we've played probably almost 100 games in 3 years, and they've been here for maybe less than 10. Wow. And that's it's really, really kind of hard to deal with. So obviously I know I don't have it the worst, right? Some guys probably, some of them haven't seen their families in years. Yeah. And I really just feel for those guys. So, obviously I'm not trying to make it so much about, I'm not trying to complain too much. Yeah. I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh my gosh, I have it the worst in the world, because I know I don't, and I never will. Yeah. But I'm trying to do this in the sense that like I'm trying to consider the other people in my life.
That's good. So you're going on visits and we're looking. Were you close to a decision? Are you still taking your time?
I'm trying to. I actually didn't know this. So the process for the portal moves really, really quick. Like it's fast.
Yeah, phones have blown up.
Like it's not so much that, but like guys are visiting schools and things. Other guys, because there's almost 1,000 players in the portal, and it's so fast moving, and so I'm trying to get my visits scheduled as quickly as I can, trying to figure out what fits me, what can I work with, closer to home, things like that. It's really been interesting. It has been a very, very fast-moving process, because, I had a call from a coach the other day. One day it's like, hey, let's get together tomorrow, try to set up a visit. He calls me the next day in the evening and says, we just had a kid commit. He's like, I'm sorry, but, that's how fast this happens. Yeah. And so, trying to get my visits set, things like that is really important. But also making sure that I don't rush into a bad decision. Yeah. So it's really hard to find this like perfect balance somewhere in the middle. But I think that I'm going to be all right as far as that goes. I think I'll be able to manage it.
Good. That's exciting. I mean, like you had a great time at Baylor, enjoyed it, could finish with a degree from here, and then on to a new chapter, and to leave, like you said, with good relationships and to start new ones and to not feel any swayed way about it. And I think you're so right in like taking your time, making the right decision for you. You want to find that good fit.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
That's exciting. Okay, so everyone that comes on gets to answer this question. If you were to write a letter to sports and say anything you wanted to, what would you say and why?
I would probably say something along these lines. It'd be like a Dear Sports, talking about how grateful I am that it's disciplined me. It's knocked me down, but it's forced me and helped me get back up more times than I can count. It's brought me closer to my family, to my friends. It's brought me, to different homes throughout my career, which has been one of the biggest blessings. I think that it's brought me closer to myself, like who I identify as. Like, obviously I don't make my identity sports, but it has really helped me find who I am as a person and the kind of person I strive to be. Obviously being here, it's brought me much closer to God than I ever thought I could get. It's really been crazy because, I went to a Catholic school for 2 years, my last 2 years of high school. And, I'm not Catholic. My mom is, so. Okay. So it was really weird. But, that was part of my religious experience too. And obviously being here, it's a Christian school. Our staff are very, very devoted. And I'm just so grateful for that. I think sports has really helped me grow, as a person, player, Christian, man, person, just all the above. And I think that sports is really powerful in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. Seriously appreciate you. And
of course,
best of luck to wherever you end up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the episode just as much as I did with Zach. Make sure to stay updated on everything. Our link tree is in the Instagram bio. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. And until next time, this is Faith Lynch with Dear Sports.